If y'all are seeing me for the first time, my name is Tracy. I'm the creator and I run our YouTube channel, but I also am the author of our blogs. And if you want like a readable tutorial version of a lot of our videos of what we're all about here at 4D Farms, we're all about faith, family, home, and farm. You can catch us on our blogs at 4dfarms.blogspot.com and 4dfarms.wordpress.com.
Good morning, y'all. You saw a couple of videos ago. We're fixing to get ready to go on a work trip. Had to put our noses to the grind, finish up some projects, get ready to go. Y'all saw where we closed down the garden, had to get it closed down, pick everything, take up plants, and just close it down. Finishing up some last minute projects, some small fencing projects. Some of that will just have to be finished while we're gone. But our oldest son and a friend of his will be taking care of that. So life happens, life keeps going on the farm even if you're not here. Things will be taken care of and still done while we're gone. Because the cows are here, someone will be here every day, taking care of things and taking care of the cows, the dogs, my little cat. Okay. So things will still be done and in the flow while we're not here. It just won't be us getting to do it. But with that being said, there is things that I have to do before we leave to go on a work trip. And the reason being, it's fall time, and I do this anyway in the fall. I like to do a good deep clean in the spring and a good deep clean in the fall. So the timing is perfect anyway. I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm getting my fall cleaning done, and I'm just getting to do it early. But this is going to take me of a period of about a week. This is our last week home, and I just have got to put our noses to the grind and just finish up projects. Like I said, it's going to take me a week. I'm not that young whippersnapper anymore. I can't clean my house in 1 week in 1 day like I used to. What used to just take me a couple of hours or, a day or something can now take me like a week to a week and a half. Okay? It is what it is. I'm getting older. I have an autoimmune disease. I have to increment my time. I have to, this is things that homemakers have to do as we age. Okay. There's things we can't do right now that we did when we were young mothers. Okay. So this is called, like time management, doing what you can when you can, things like that. I've learned I'm not getting any younger. I got to deal with it. Okay. So, it's going to take me a week to get my house deep clean. But what I've been doing, a little increments of time, is like in between times, like when I'm in the kitchen and I was waiting on something to bake or something like that, or simmer on the stove, I would take little increments of time and wipe a window, wipe a countertop, scrub it down, scrub a cabinet. So my kitchen's pretty much done except for the floor. There we go. Granddaughters helped me a couple of times. That made things a little bit easier. I set one with some Windex and a microfiber cloth. She hid all the windows in the house. Then I set the other one. I gave her a duster. She helped dust some things, and we hit cabinets. We hit some things that they could reach. So they've helped me. Last week they helped me. And so it's just time to just finish the last minute necessities. What we hated the worst was taking down the pool. That was just sad to see the pool go. We've had so much fun all summer. And even when school started back, I would let them get in the pool after homework was done. That was the only way I could get them to get their stinking homework done. I'm like, well, so we have a snacky, sit down, do our homework. Sooner you get done, sooner we can get out there and swim before Daddy says, It's time to go change your clothes and go home. Okay. So I kind of bribed them that week. And on top, and we got it drained. We got it cleaned out, taken down, put away, stored. That was done. We hated to see that go. But it was perfect timing anyway, because we got a cold front coming through. And then, but to top it all off, I'm trying to clean with having, y'all, I got sick. And I'm not talking about just like minor sick. I'm talking like in the bed for 2 days sick. 3 days in the bed. Couldn't hardly pick my head up off the pillow. Didn't know what was wrong. Running fever. My husband finally said, okay, you know what? We're going. I'm taking you to the doctor. We're going. So come to find out, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm looking at a woodpecker and another bird. Sinus infection, really bad, all up in here. Yes, I've been coughing my head off. Yes. So, fluid in this ear. Y'all, I did all I could do with natural remedies. I did all I could do. But this went beyond what I could do. And God gives me enough sense to know medicine, natural medicines to use, his pharmacy to help some things, okay? But he also gives me common sense enough to know, okay, this is beyond what you, my child, can handle. You need to get some help. He gives me common sense too. When something is finally out of my hands and it's gone too far, I will go get help. I want y'all to know, I'm not opposed to doctors. Don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to them, because there's been times, me, family members, you got to do what you got to do, okay? And I understand that. Like I said, God gives us all common sense. But if my doctor also knows that if there's any way possible, I'm going to try to handle it myself. And even when I went to my doctor, she said, okay, tell me what all you've tried. What all have you done? And I told her. And she said, all those were good things. She said, you did a good job. The elderberry cough syrup, I made some of that. I made my homemade cold and flu remedy, with the lemon and the honey and the garlic, stuff like that. I didn't have garlic. I substituted with ginger. And I did all that, y'all. And she said, you did a good job. My tinctures, she said, but this has gone beyond what those can handle. And she said, I hate to say it, but she said, you're going to have an antibiotic. And she said, I know how you are. I know you don't like them. But she said, you're just ate up in here. Because the whole left side of my head felt like I was having an aneurysm. I mean, or a migraine or something. I've never had a migraine in my whole life. Don't even know what a migraine is. Couldn't explain it. But she said, you're just all messed up in here. And she said, what's stuck up in here, you just can't get out. And she said, the longer it sits, it's growing more infection. She said, you've got to get rid of this and get rid of it quick. I said, you know what, Doc? Okay. I'm miserable. I got a week left. I have to travel. And she's like, I'll get you covered. I said, okay. So we're kind of on the mend, and she helped a lot. She did give me a cough syrup, though. That does make me a little drowsy. I'm trying to push through, but I will not be able to take those the 2 days driving. But if I can just take it faithfully before then, take a little pause, get back to taking it, because the coughing is what was driving me nuts. I'm not kidding. My chest, my ribs, and my abdominal muscles were so sore from coughing so much. It hurt to even breathe, but it's all right. Like I said, I did what I could do first. And then the Lord thankfully gives us common sense to say, hey, this is beyond what you can do. People even went to Luke in the Bible, the physician. They went to him for help. He knew what to do. Okay? I'm sure they probably did all they could do, but he helped. okay? Sometimes you have to buckle down and say, I need help. So I had to make that decision. I'm on the mend. I'm just going to try to finish doing. I don't have a lot of deep cleaning left because, like I said, little increments of time, I was getting some things done here and there. Granddaughters helped me. We hit their room one day. We went from top to bottom. I turned on the TV. We turned on some worship songs, and we just got busy cleaning. I got the things they couldn't reach, and we organized their room, got their room all clean. So, yeah, see, they help. They'll get rewarded for it. And just little things left. I think I just got some floors left to do. But my point being, I like to do this in the fall because it's been busy this whole summer. You know, my house, I was managing just keeping it maintained because we were having fun with granddaughters, gardening, preserving, okay? It just kind of got away with me. Now it's time to do that fall cleaning, that deep cleaning, and close down the house. But like I said, it's going to take me a week because I'm not that young whippersnapper anymore. But I'll just do a chore a day or a room a day or something like that. And I've pretty much got all the rooms done. Let me just walk through here. I've pretty much got all the rooms done. The only thing I really have left to do is just do my kitchen floors and just some last minute little things like I know I don't want to leave, like the toilets, you know, countertops, things like that. But you'll see it. I did this like over a week's time, and I'm finishing up last minute things this week because I still have to finish my packing, and I can't let the granddaughters see me do that because it will just set in that it's fixing to be time to go, and I'm going to deal with crying. So they gonna cry, I gonna cry. So yeah, it is what it is. So let's get this house deep clean. What's left to do? I did get some clips of some days like where I was getting some things done to get me started for this week. So this week is not really going to be so hard. Y'all, ladies, young ladies, learn to do this. Time management. Use your time wisely. Little to where that way you may not have to do all this deep cleaning, okay? You may not have to do that because even in my light maintenance, I will still get some things done that would be considered deep cleaning, like my crown molding and my baseboards. A lot of women will consider, oh, that's deep cleaning. I'll put it on my deep cleaning list day. I do it even when I get in here to do a room. Okay. And it don't take but 5 minutes to do that. So get on a schedule where maybe like you have like just a daily maintenance, a weekly maintenance, you know, and then you might want to hit that deep clean. It's all about time management. And this is what homemakers do. We just know how to do this. We know how to run our home efficiently by using time management skills. So learn these things to where you're not wiping yourself out, you know, trying to rush around and get so much done at one time. Little free moments of time. Like I said, maybe like when you get out of the shower or something, spray it down, wipe it down. Sometimes when I'm in the shower, when I get done, I'll turn around, I'll spray it down right quick, rub it down right quick, wash it out while I'm towel drying. See, little increments of time that you can save just by taking 5-minute little maintenances here and there. But then, like I said, it's that time where I need to do this deep cleaning because we've been busy all summer. We just wanted to have fun this summer, get our work done, and now it's time. So it's taken me like last week I did some things, and I'm finishing up this week. So let's get to cleaning this house before I leave, okay?
Y'all, as I said previously, I am so glad that I was able to get some things done in little increments of time all throughout the week and the week before that. Just little spot cleaning here and there when I was in a particular room. Like I said, when I was in my kitchen waiting on something to cook or bake, I would take those moments of time and wipe some upper cabinets down, wipe some lower cabinets down, clean out an air fryer, get it all put up and ready. Because I had baked one last thing in there for the granddaughters, and it got crumbs in it, and I needed to clean it out. And cleaning out our microwave, cleaning out our stove, just increments of time that I could find to squeeze in some of that cleaning that helped me later on in the week. Because later on in the week, I really found out that I really didn't have a lot to do. And that week went by pretty fast. And I was able to focus on some more things throughout the house. I just had maybe like a few things here and there that I just needed to retouch or to get that I might have forgotten. And like I said, the only thing I really had left in my kitchen to do after wiping some things down and cleaning them out was just getting everything down to the floor. And dear hubby gets me things that makes my job a whole lot easier. Y'all, I use my Bissell Crosswave and it vacuums. I had already vacuumed the floor just because the granddaughter's spilling things, but my Bissell vacuums and mops and scrubs at the same times with a rotating brush at the bottom of it. And y'all, it just made cleaning my floors so much easier. I got my kitchen floor all done, but then I went back behind that and steamed it just to be on the safe side, just to get any kind of extra little icky gunk that might have been on there. And then I was able to use my Bissell to do our bathroom floors with. Granddaughters helped me scrub their bathroom down one day. I got the toilet. One got the sink and the mirror and the cabinets and the countertop. The other one scrubbed down the shower. And y'all, they got rewarded for it. Trust me. And just, they helped me dust throughout the house. And like I said, they helped me with windows. I don't know what I would have done without their help that week and the few increments of time that week before. But my dusting time was cut a lot in half because a lot of big things I'm able to get with my dust mop that covers a big area at one time. And I get like cabinets, I get our big TV. I also use my homemade cleaner. And then I use this, y'all, to go around through the house getting my crown moldings and my baseboards. So this helps a lot, and a lot of people will consider this part of their deep cleaning. But y'all, I can find little increments of time to squeeze this in just regular maintenance. It's just a schedule that you're going to have to sit down and do what fits you, your schedule, your lifestyle, and your home. And then before you know it, you've got a room clean in just a matter of minutes, and it wasn't even hard at all. Y'all refer to my homemaking playlist if you need some suggestions and ideas. Zone cleaning, cleaning as you go, cleaning up after yourself, getting your family on board, cleaning up after themselves, time management skills, increments of time. It's all in my homemaking playlist. Y'all be sure to join me on my homemaking playlist, always for tips and tricks and ideas to make our homemaking lives and mom lives and grandma lives a whole lot easier. I had already gone through the house wiping down light fixtures and blinds and stuff like this, but I just felt like I just needed one last quick little dust on some just before we walked out the door. And I have to be careful with climbing and just
watching how I clean now, because like I said, I'm not that young whippersnapper anymore, and climbing's beginning to be a pain. And that's the reason why the granddaughters offer to help a lot too. And my teddy bear's there. This is like a cabinet I use to put my husband's military pictures on, our son's military pictures, and I have those little teddy bears there. One's a Marine, one's a Army soldier, and I keep those nice and pretty. But I love my Swiffer dusters too, for just like regular quick little dusting maintenance. Those help. But if I need to do a big deep cleaning dusting, I'll get a microfiber cloth and either just dampen it, or I'll use some of my homemade cleaner and everything in my house gets touched. But we had already done that. So I'm just last minute little quick second dusting. And I love the Swiffer dusters too for that. But just use your time wisely in your home and set your schedule and your routine up, like I said, that fits you and your lifestyle. I was kind of having a little bum ankle on this day. It was a little swollen on me. That happens sometimes, just periodically. I'll get like an inflamed joint or something, and it'll just swell every once in a while. And then I just had to just vacuum my floors, and that was kind of it. My house cleaning was actually easy this time. Just getting up some last minute little crumbs where the granddaughters had played, or got out some kinetic sand or some Play-Doh or something, entertaining themselves. And because there was some days they were just dependent on entertaining themselves while I just sat and just coughed my head off sometimes. They would check on me all the time and frequently, "Are you okay, G-Mom? Do you need anything? We're right here if you need us." Oh, I had some excellent little nurses too. But y'all, my mama taught me how to vacuum. You go with the grain, you go against the grain, or the shag, whatever it's called. And I got to see those lines, y'all, in that carpet. I have to see those lines going and coming. And I remember when my mother used to clean house for us when I was younger and in the working field. She would clean every Friday for us. And I would come home, y'all, and I could see those lines in my carpet, and our house smelling so good, so we could just rest and relax for the weekend. And y'all, I keep my vacuum cleaner maintained, cleaned out, and washed out the filter clean after every use. And that's how I've had this vacuum cleaner for years. And I clean out all the filters. I will even get the gunk out of the scrub brush up underneath, and hair and all such as that, and get all that out so my roller will spin right. And I mean, I clean everything, let it dry, then I put it all back together. And I have had this vacuum cleaner for so many years now, it ain't even funny. See all that gunk I got to get out of there? Yeah, I'm going to hit that. She's going to get a new shine up, and then she's going to go back in the closet and park for a while. But you have to maintain your appliances, y'all. Then I had already taken all my curtains down and put them, what little curtains we have. We only have one set in the living room, one set in the bathroom, one set in the storage room, and that's it. I took all three of them down. Oh, and our bedrooms. I took them down. I washed them, but this particular day I was just going through just one last little fluff, you know. And granddaughter had already cleaned this window, but y'all see where that window leads out to? That leads out to our pastures and everything else. And she had already cleaned it, but we had got in there one day and got the binoculars, and we were looking at two little foxes outside playing on top of the hay bales, then watching our dogs and just some more animals and some deer out in the pasture. And of course, we got handprints and nose prints and everything else back on it. So I had to give that one last little clean off. But we had already gotten all the windows and everything a couple of days before that. That rocking chair right there, y'all, is about a 4-generation rocking chair. That was my grandmother's. She rocked my mother and my 2 uncles. She rocked me and my 2 sisters. My mama rocked us in it, and I rocked both of our boys in it. Then I turned around and used it to rock our granddaughters in. So that rocking chair is not going anywhere. And then it being a bathroom, y'all, I have to steam my bathrooms because, you know, men, boys, children. Okay, yeah, it's a bathroom. A lot goes down in the bathroom. So I had to use my steam mop in here too, just for the sake of knowing it was sanitized and it was clean before we left. I love my Shark steam vac. Any of the things that you see in here that I'm using, my Bissell, my vacuum cleaner, my steam mop, everything I use, y'all, is in our Amazon store on my cleaning essentials list. And I've had this steam mop for years. And like I said, I got the girls. Then I went through last minute thing and I maintained my washer and my dryer. This is a front loader, y'all, which means around that seal, around the door, you could possibly start getting mold and mildew. Always, if you've got one of these after you get done washing a load, leave your door propped open a little bit and let it air dry that seal out. But I wanted to give it one last wipe down and clean out. I ran it through the cleaning cycle, let it dry. I wiped out the seal, and then I went back and I vacuumed out all the lint out of the lint tray and everything in my dryer. Wiped all it out. I wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving anything behind, and just maintaining my washer and dryer. Maintain your appliances, y'all. This is how they last you longer, and you don't have to wind up replacing anything. So I'm just doing that, and I believe after a few minutes, I took my my lint trap to the sink, and I scrubbed the screen down really good with some Dawn dish soap too to get any fabric softener film off of it. And this was my house cleaning, y'all, that made it so much easier before we left. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.